Are we?
We're live, yeah.
Are there any people on standby?
We've got, this is one watching at the moment, so.
Good afternoon. Hello everyone. Nice to see so many faces in the room today. So we're about to make a start. I'll wait for you to get the seats. Lovely to see so many of you. Thank you for coming today. My name's Sarah Collins. I work in employer engagement within the Careers and Placements department. So myself and my team are the ones trying to source external employer internships for you all as part of the postgraduate guaranteed internship scheme. We're very lucky to have ACAA here with us today, which currently have roles live on Aston Futures that will work for the internship scheme. So do have a look if you haven't looked already. I think we're due to close them this weekend. But obviously we get the insights here from Dr. Massimi, from Darius, who's here as well from ACAA, and we're very happy to have you here today. So thank you. I'm going to hand you over to Darius initially, no, to Dr. Massimi.
Good morning. Of course no. It's not morning, it's 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. Can you please tell me why we are here today? Can you raise your hand and tell me why we are here today?
Networking.
Huh?
Networking.
Networking, well done. So would you like to listen my history, my background, my journey to the UK, or you want to listen some advice from me as a community leader? Huh?
All of them.
Maybe I can start briefly give you the painful journey that I had with my family. The information normally I started as part of the induction to the new interns that we have from the university, the students from universities. For the past 20 months, I noticed sign of confidence in myself. While the organization founded 27 years ago, but 20 months ago, I wasn't able to communicate effectively with my member of the staff, with my volunteers, and with you in the universities. So integration and education, especially for the first generation, is nightmare. It is very, very, very painful. In 1999, because of the situation back home in Afghanistan, after I finished my education in Ukraine, then we decided to migrate to the UK. It took 1 year from Ukraine to Dover. From Ukraine to Hungary, from Hungary to Slovakia, from Slovakia to Austria, Germany, Holland, Belgium, and Dover. 1 year. Night, yes. Through the jungles, walking, 3 hours or 2 hours, 3 hours. He was only 4 months old. So here, my wife was carrying him, and I was looking after my 2 daughters, which was 4 years old and 7 years old. Then, eventually, it was at midnight at 2 a.m., and it was the second attempt in a petrol station in Belgium, where the smuggler opened the door, which I wasn't aware, to be honest. Later, after half an hour, I realized the smuggler put us in a refrigerated container. No oxygen, very dark, cold. For sometimes I managed to use the lighter just to see the face of my baby and my family, and then the light is gone. Yeah. But it took more than 10 hours from the petrol station in Belgium to arrive in Dover. And thank you to the few other families from Albania and Kosovo. The smuggler was from the former Yugoslavia. They had a proper communication. And then we started banging the container, the lorry. Then the UK border agency opened the door, and we survived. If the UK border agency wouldn't open the door, then we would die like the 58 Chinese found dead in the year 2000. If you Google, you will find out this information. In the year 2000, after we arrived in 1999, 58 people from China also found dead in Dover. And I think in 2019, 34 Vietnamese also. So that's why I told you about the confidence. It started only 20 months ago. Because I started my life with no any English language skill, no any knowledge about English culture, the society, nothing. And I started my life in the southeast of London, in Lewisham, New Cross Gate, among the largest African community. I was the first family for Afghanistan to start my life in the southeast of London. But however, I managed to found this organization, the first family among the largest African community. Then where West London hosts 300,000 people from Afghanistan, until we moved to West London 9 years ago, after 18 years spending in Lewisham. The 300,000 people in West London, they didn't have a community center to improve their integration and participation. And that's why we have lack of representation in local and national politics. We don't have any single councillor or member of parliament, no one in the House of Lords, no one in the cabinet, no one in the council. Yeah? When you talk with my community, no English, no CV. They don't use even email address. After 20 years living in the UK, most of them, they don't have an email address and they don't have a CV. And I think it's quite understandable because it takes some time for the new arrived people to integrate and educate properly. Because the South Asian community, when I talk about the South Asian, we had the Prime Minister from India, originally Rishi Sunak. We have the Mayor of London, Sidi Khan from Pakistan, and so many other important politicians, like the Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood. She's also originally from Pakistan. First of all, the South Asian, they been part of the British culture for 400 years. And the migration started from South Asia 80 years ago. So we, coming from Afghanistan, country as a buffer, B-U-F-F-E-R, buffer zone. Of course, we face a lot of challenges and problems when we migrate to a new society. But anyway, I started the organization in the southeast of London. We started the first project, English classes, supplementary school, helping children with homework, school subjects and mother tongue. Then slowly expanded. Volunteering program for young people. As you can see, some of the interns, they come from London with me today. We have thousands interns for the past 27 years from more than 60 nationalities, 60 countries, coming for political communication, internship, strategic development, internship, legal interns, or legal internship, yeah. Social media, event organizing. Yeah. Then the cultural events is part of the integration project. We normally organize cultural events very often. The biggest one is the summer festival, which we have 10,000 people last year to celebrate Refugee Week. The free legal advice, especially for those people who can't afford to pay solicitors. And the legal aid also been reduced for the past 15 years. And then compensation. Even this morning when I left the office, I saw some people, they were queuing to come to our center to get some advice on housing, immigration. Yeah. Conferences in the House of Parliament, in the EU Parliament. It was 2019, I had a new political communication intern, originally from Italy. He was studying at LSE. And it was his first day as a political communication. He asked me, Dr. Nasimi, can you give me a task? And I said, yes, organize a conference in the EU Parliament. And he started laughing. He said, I am new. I am a student at LSE. How can you ask me to organize a conference in the EU Parliament? And I advised him to draft an agenda. Once you have the agenda, then contact the UK MEP, ask to book the room. It was before Brexit. Then start finding some speakers. Once we completed everything, once we done everything, then I pay £600 from our own pocket to hire a minibus. We left Hounslow at 6 a.m. We arrived in Brussels at 3:30. We started the conference in the EU Parliament at 4. To support new arrived community, because we are also human beings. It doesn't matter whether we are migrants or the indigenous. The expansion of the organization started from the isolated area in New Cross Gate, Lucian, now the largest community center in Fenton. We have 700,000 refugees in California, Los Angeles, in the United States. When I was asking them, do you have a senior community center in the US? They said, no, we have a lot of banquet hall, restaurants, petrol station, but not a community center. Number two, Germany hosts the largest community from Afghanistan, over 500,000. When I was asking my people in Germany, do you have a community center? Their answer was the same, like the people who are in America. And my community center is not the council property. If you see the picture, I don't know if you have, this cost £100,000. While the community center run by the council is only cost between 10 to 15,000 pounds. Between 10 to 15,000 pounds. So this is an indication that we have people in this world care about others. I'm begging for money to cover the cost for a community center, which is 100,000 pounds a year. And I think my community center also helped Britain during the crisis in Afghanistan, which we have never talked about this. This can be a very big publication. During the crisis, during the crisis in 2021, when the Taliban returned back to power, because of the center, we had the queue from 5 a.m. Thousands of people queuing to access some help from our center in Felda. And because of the queue, and because of the big building, and we had hundreds of national and international press, including the Chinese TV, the Russian TV, the French, the Japanese, the CNN, all media from all around the world, they come to our center to make a live broadcast. And only last year I realized it's very sad to be a new community in the UK. Because only last year I noticed sign of confidence. If we had the same confidence that I'm speaking with you now, 4.5 years ago, we could secure over 100 millions of pounds. Because it was a big event, serious crisis. We supported the queue, we distributed donation, the center became the main point for collecting and distributing donation, but no money. We never asked the media to ask the public for some donation. Yeah. Then after 6 months, the attention of the world moved from Afghanistan to Ukraine. If you remember, the Taliban returned back to power in August 2021, and the Russian invaded Ukraine in February 2022. But we missed the opportunity anyway. Otherwise, if I had 100 million pounds, do you know how I would use the 100 million pounds? I would maybe purchase lands and build at least 10 community centers across the United Kingdom as part of the legacy. Why? Because these people, like yourself, they need a community center. When I was looking at the question this morning, that we are talking today here, and I realized young people, they cannot access employment, they cannot run a successful business if they don't engage on grassroots activities. These grassroots activities help someone like first generation now to talk in the university. I didn't attend the university in the UK. But I feel that my conversation makes some sense. If the conversation wouldn't make sense, then my confidence go down. Of course, the language skill still is not perfect. But I realize for the English people it's not important that your language should be very, very perfect. It's important the meaning of your conversation. Yeah. So this grassroots organization helped me to meet King Charles in December 2023. Before meeting King Charles, they told me you will have only 30-second opportunity to speak with him. But when I watched the video they sent me, it took 2 minutes to talk with the king. Then the honorary doctorate in law and social science 16 months ago from the Royal Holloway University of London. I was speaking with my children, and I said, instead of having the honorary doctorate in law and social science, maybe they could give me a honorary doctorate in anthropology. Because now I learned a lot about different culture, working with different students, with different interns. And my daughter was laughing. She said, social science, no, anthropology also include in social science. Social science also cover the anthropology. Yeah. But hopefully maybe the Birmingham University give me the honorary doctorate in anthropology. Yeah. Last night I sent an email to the Prime Minister. I said, I see some similarity in the struggle made by Nelson Mandela and Gandhi, but the problems about Afghanistan, especially about the return of the Taliban, yes. Reduced the hopes for the future, and the crisis now in Iran. And the joke, I don't know if it was joke or serious, when Zelensky was in White House, Trump repeatedly mentioned about the possibility of the Third World War. And what's going on now in Iran, Afghanistan. But it doesn't mean that my hope is ended. If I don't achieve something in my life, if I don't see something in my life, hopefully the next generation, my children, if not my children, my grandchildren, yeah. But the aim is one thing, social justice. Which sometimes even, not just in Afghanistan, in many other developed society, we can see lack of social justice sometimes, yeah. Inequality. Yeah. So, yeah, now the center in Feltham, in Brent, 2 months ago we launched, hopefully next month in Nottingham, to support the Ukrainian integration project. With the support of the council, we secured some funding for the Nottingham. Yeah. Feltham, Brent, Liverpool, Nottingham, and sessional activities in Ealing, Hillingdon, Richmond. Yeah. It's a great success history. And also a great case study for anyone who want to get involved in writing books, yeah, articles. If I continue talking about my long journey, it takes maybe many hours. But I would like to say thank you to the British people, to the British society as a whole. I think that the way of life in the UK completely different than any other countries in the world. The hospitality, yeah, the democratic values that we have here, equal opportunities, yeah, tolerance, yeah, respect, mutual respect, which I touch on this, that we had important politicians we have in the UK represent the ethnic minority. And thank you to the Birmingham University, the business school, for inviting us. And I hope that this event will not be the first or maybe the last relationship between the Afghanistan and Central Asian Association and the Business School University of Birmingham. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope we can talk during the. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nazimi. I think your story is really inspirational. You know, your journey, your family's journey, that must have been terrifying coming to the UK in that way. And you know, creating this amazing organisation that's helping the lives of so many other people, filling a gap that was there, multi-award winning, and yourself an MBE as well. It's just, yeah, I think it's really inspiring personally. I know we've got a lot of students that aspire to set up their own organisations or businesses at some point as well. So I think you're a great example of how well someone can do coming to this country if they've got the drive. Yeah, I'm in awe. Well, I was going to ask if there's any questions from the audience. Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Nazimi, either about this journey, about ACAA, the kinds of opportunities for volunteers? Yes, go ahead.
So, I didn't get the chance to meet you guys outside, but my friends told me that you guys have the volunteering internship and everything is much in your organization. So, I was going to ask what kind of the range of fields are they in and how to apply it.
If I understand your question correctly, so how you can submit your CV to apply for voluntary position, yeah?
Yeah.
I think that yes, number one is our website, and number two, always you can find always the internship opportunities through Indeed.
We actually also have them on Aston Futures at the moment. So this is our jobs portal at the university. So yeah, they're all on there. You can submit an application through there, so that we can send a basically over to ACA. There's lots of different types of opportunities, isn't there?
Yes, so I said political communication internship, strategic development internship, fundraising internship, which is so important, where young people, they will have the opportunities to draft funding application, write funding proposal, search for funding from different international donors. Then the legal, especially for those people who study law, business, of course. I think that there are some similarity with the fundraising and business things here. For example, if you want to set up a business, you're looking for loan, you're looking for grant, you have to submit some funding application or grant application to the donors. Then event organizing, conferences, training, then social media. So there are a lot of opportunities available at the Afghanistan and Central Asian Association. I hope that you will send your CV in the near future. Thank you. Yes.
Can I just say very quickly as well, for those of us joining us from the London campus, there's opportunities at the Birmingham Centre and at the London Centre, which is one of the reasons we're really excited about this, because we've got campuses in both places as well, so that's fantastic. Sorry, there was someone at the back with a question.
we want to go because we have a lecture, but before going, I would like to ask which kind of opportunity do you really offer in Birmingham City?
Of course, the size of the office in Birmingham is not the same that we have in Feltham. I think we have Mr. Ruholo and Shiria, we have enough capacity for 20 people. If not 20 people at once, maybe 10 people sitting and 10 desks, computer, laptops, yeah? What about 10 people? It's a good. It's a, for example, we had a Christmas celebration last month, 2 months ago. We had the council, people from the council, the councillors, the MP, and like 40 people. There was inside the room for 40, 45 people. There's a small kitchen, small meeting room, and a big room. Yeah, for the office. So yes, you're asking me if what kind of opportunities in the Birmingham office, yeah. Which I touch on this. The same thing that we are doing in London, research, yeah, fundraising, communicating with the local council, with the local job center, with the local businesses. Yeah, helping people with employment and housing and immigration. We have a lot of people, they can't afford to pay the lawyer to claim for asylum. And then event organizing. You are welcome to, for example, once you apply for the internship, then you can ask the university to book a room for you for free. And then organize a similar event in the future and allow students to come here and talk, yeah, about their future ambition. Yeah. A lot of, yes, if you go to our website, you will find a lot of information. As I said, we have students from LSE, Oxford, Cambridge, UCL, King's College, even from US. Sometimes we receive a CV from America, they're waiting for the decision. They said, if you say yes, if you accept us, then we have to plan our traveling to UK. We have some people from Germany, from Italy, from sometimes I feel very sad that we don't have many people from Afghanistan, which is quite understandable. So our people mainly engage in cultural events, which I mentioned that last year we had 10,000 people, 10,000 attended our summer festival. Both volunteering culture or volunteering concept for the people of Afghanistan is a very, very, very new concept. And that's why I always emphasize about the importance of the things I'm doing in London. Actually, this is a strong foundation for the future generation.
Just to say as well, those roles that are on Aston Futures, you'll see each one of them is open to London on Birmingham campus. That's something that we discussed when we got them advertised on there. I think the initial closing date is this weekend, so do have a look for them. If you're looking for external internships with employers on Aston Futures, you can filter them. There's a postgraduate internship option on the left-hand side when you go into Aston Futures, so you can find them all there.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yes.
So working in the profit sector is different from working to not-for-profit. What kind of qualities do you look for people who apply to your organization? What makes them stand out in their applications?
So this is the reason we receive hundreds of thousands of CV, because we are very flexible. We understand this young people, not always they have the experience of working in the grassroots organizations. And that's why they're submitting their CV to enter into the new environment. So we are not looking too much on the quality. We welcome anyone to join the organization to make sure they will build a stronger future for themselves and for the community.
What I would say to that is when we're doing the initial shortlists, there will be some application questions when you apply, and we'll be looking for an eye out really for people who are just really interested in the work that's done at the centres. You know, these are really important projects, and I think, you know, that passion and interest, obviously if you've got previous experience, which I know a lot of you do, then that's always really useful to know as well. But yeah, I think when it's a project like this, well, multiple projects, you know, an organisation like this, that kind of passion for the cause is something that I definitely see stands out in applications, because it's...
No, when I talk about the quality, it means that the majority of young people who are coming to our organization, they come without previous experience. That's why we make things easy for them. And of course, we have a panel, we have certain questions set up to ask the new applicants about their skills, the strengths, previous experience, expectation, yeah, their knowledge of the NGO. We are, of course, asking this kind of question. Yeah, thank you. Any more question? If no more question, I will ask you one question. What is the differences between strength and skill? Can you raise your hand and tell me the differences between skills and strength?
They should be able to answer this question, because that's the question I asked them last week.
I can see no one can answer. Yes, please.
Strength is something you're naturally good at.
Strength, something is?
You're naturally good at. And skill is something you can develop.
What do you think?
I think that's a pretty good answer.
I think that the skills is something that you bring some tangible, or you have some tangible, maybe how to say, you can make some tangible impact. But strength is maybe the general description of your personality. Yeah? Can you give me an example, general description of your personality? And then the skill is tangible things. Can you please tell me?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, you can help me.
Okay, so if I'm thinking of a strength, maybe creativity is a strength.
Yes.
But then the skill to utilise that creativity might be creating content for social media. It's engaging.
Very good, yeah.
Put you on the spot there.
Yes, please.
So you can have many skills, but all of the skills will not be your strength. Some of the skills will be your strength. So anything like that.
Yeah. I think that writing is so important, and that's why a lot of people, they don't know how to write a letter to the local MP. Yeah? Writing skill. Then communication skill also is very, very important. Yeah? Leadership skill, organizational skill, fundraising, which we touch on this.
I guess there are personal qualities. I'm thinking about yourself. You know, resilience. That's a strength. And actually all international students, I think, face that as well, you know, moving to a new country, and you know, there's an awful lot to do. Like resilience is massive.
Thank you very much. It's a very important one here. Resilience, persistence, consistency, determination. Yeah. So, do you have more any question, or do you I should ask you some question?
I mean, otherwise you could track I know the students when they then want to talk individually.
Yeah.
That would be all right.
Yes,
with
of
you?
course.
I know sometimes it's a bit daunting in the room, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Really,
thank you.
really appreciate
Thank
it.
you very
Well
much. And ACAA, there's plenty of people from the centres as well here, which is great. So there's loads of people for you to chat to. There's some volunteers here today as well, so you can ask about their experiences. So, yeah, please interact. Thank you.
So if you want, you can take a comfort break or whatever.
Can I grab my coat? Sorry.